Hey y'all, and welcome back to another video by UmbrasDarkness. In today's video, you guys, we're going to be talking about evolutions. It's going to be an update video to the evolution guide I posted a long time ago. Most of it's going to be relevant, so if you've watched that before, don't really need to watch this. If you haven't and you're new to this game, welcome. Thank you for showing up. Consider liking, subscribing, commenting on this video, sharing this video. Every step you guys make helps the channel grow a lot, so thank you. Please, subscribing costs nothing. Helps the channel a lot, so thank you. Anyways, evolutions. What are we going to do with them? So, first off, when you start this game, the evolutions that you're going to have are going to be these top 12 and this one right here. First off, you're going to max out Rapid Product, Hill Development, and Basic Combat. My recommendation is to just max those three before you get distracted with anything else. Don't do anything else. Don't touch anything else. If you're still doing these three evolutions on a new server, only super whales are going to be farther than that. Just max those three. Be able to, hit your insects super easy. Be able to rapid and all that other stuff. Be able to have faster construction times. Just get the good goods. Not to mention basic combat is required in order to max out basic military. Hill develop is required in order to max out soldier healing. And I believe rapid product is the other side of soldier healing. I think one is one and one is the other. I'm not 100% sure. I maxed those out a long time ago. But I do know that each one of these is required in order to max out another evolution. So these three max out. Secondary combat, ignore it. Don't touch it. Don't do anything with it. It's a waste of time. I regret getting it to 47%. I wouldn't touch it. Alright, so after you've maxed these three out, you're going to slowly be leveling up your queen level. I have videos on that too. You're going to be wanting to level up your queen level as fast as possible, but everyone has constraints of resources, time investment, and money spent. So as you level up your queen level, you're going to unlock more march units. Each march unit is going to follow the same pattern. Unlock primary leadership. Unlock gathering, unlock transporter, level these up to level 3. These ones up to level 5. March speed up, secondary leadership, troop recalling. Don't go farther. You only need to unlock those slots on all 4 units as you're going. When you have spare time, if all of those are unlocked there, you're going to slowly on Pro Unit and March Unit 1 unlock farther slots. Right? Tertiary leadership on Pro Unit, March Unit 1, and then March Unit 2. Soldier healing. So whatever you're done there, or if you're like me and you can't pay attention to the same Evo for too long, you're going to want to max out soldier healing. Not certain aspects of soldier healing like I did with the leadership. Max it out. The reason for that is zone development, and we'll get into that later on. And then basic military. You're only going to want, so I'm a carrier main, you're only going to want to max carrier ant, fast hatch, minimum level investment into medium expansion, and then carrier ant, fast hatch. Then you're going to want to stop. The reason behind that is the other appeal to this is fatal attack. And fatal attack isn't appealing in a developed server. Why I say that is, one, you get 8-hour bubbles like they're going out of style. So if you're a good player, you're going to be bubbled. And then 2, most servers are like nap servers, so you don't invade hills. And then kill event, KE, which is what SVS is a part of, you don't invade hills either. And then the major forms of player versus player for this game are in Duel of the Queens and Mines, where you don't suffer troop losses. Or Alliance Expedition, where you, again, don't suffer troop losses. So there's very little reality where fatal attack is relevant. Therefore, I would not recommend maxing it out. I wouldn't recommend going for it. There is a point in time in your evolution timeline, which we'll get into, where you just max things out. But beyond that, I would not get into it where you're at. So, as you're doing those, you're going to get a feel for the game, and you need to decide what troop type. I'm a carrier main. My wife is a shooter main. A good friend is a guardian main. Here's what I got to say in order to be bluntly honest about all of them. If you're a guardian main, I'm sorry, you did it wrong. There's not a good choice for guardian mains right now. There's not a place in this game for it. They were really developed in order to do anthill invasion, right? You don't garrison in this game, so it doesn't mean anything. Not to mention they get outclassed as a pure guardian. They don't do enough damage for them to win on the offensive. So I would not be a guardian main. I would choose one of the other two types. Now, carrier ant, what I am, used to be like de facto number one. Not so much anymore. Carrier ants move faster for raiding. They move faster for gathering. They move faster for like getting on, doing your dailies, hunting insects. However, they're a more rounded troop. Shooters are more glass cannon, and they do higher damage. So shooter ants are good for player versus PvE, where you don't get damage dealt back to you by, like, say, the groundhog. And then in player versus player, you can use like tier 7 guardians and tier 8 shooters, or tier 8 guardians and tier 9 shooters. So it's not nearly as noticeable, and you can still use guardians as like a support where you're not bringing them up like you are shooter ants. So really the argument comes in between carrier ant and shooter ant. Again, player versus player, I probably would still go with carrier ant, but there's good argument on shooters and mixed marches and everything else. If you're only interested in playing against the NPCs, then shooter ant is by far the superior ant for that. It's really unfortunate. The game used to be a lot more well-rounded, but carrier ants rightfully needed a nerf. I just think that they got hit a little bit too hard. So that's where you're going to invest. However, you're not going to go past boost. Boost is right here. Everything below it requires creature remains, right? Creature remains. Everything after it, or before it, does not require creature remains. So you're not going to do anything that requires creature remains. As your server becomes older and older and older, after about 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, you unlock zone development, zone fight. You're going to invest into zone development. That's where all your creature remains go, and you're going to invest it in this way. So up here, we have a green highlighted. That's the minimum investment, right? Follow the green path to unlock double rewards as soon as possible. So you're going to unlock by maxing out zone gathering, then extra resource, then secondary rewards. So you're going to unlock all the green, then you're going to go back and fill it all up. The only one that I don't have maxed out, I believe, is Rapid Hatch. Other than that, everything else is maxed out. So I would not at all use any other creature remains anywhere else until zone development is maxed out on double rewards. It's going to make... you get about... At Queen 25, just to give an example, you get about $120 worth of rewards. Zone development... being maxed at double rewards means you're getting $250, maybe $300 worth of rewards. That's insane. You should definitely be maxing out zone development. Before I get a million DMs asking me this chart, link in the description to my Discord. Join the Discord, charts in the Discord. Don't want to join my Discord, still want the chart? DM me on Discord. Links in the description. Don't want to join Discord, don't have a Discord. DM me online. The app line, and I will send you a copy of this chart. That is where the map is. It is in useful data sheets in my Discord. Okay. Real quick, before we walk away from this chart, T9 creature remains. This is obviously for carrier ants, but it's the same way for shooters, for guardians, all of it. As you can see, for zone development, minimum investment, it's 57,008 or 80 creature remains. Minimum investment for T10s is 117,000. Once you unlock zone development, you're getting 7th at Queen 25. You're getting 7,000 creature remains at a time, which is, again, why we push Queen 25 and then fill out after that. There's no doubt that that is the best route. But that's why you want the rewards to work longer. So unlock zone development, then worry about T9s and all that other stuff. All right, let's get back to the evolution priorities. All right, so you're going to max that out based off of the chart that I just shared. And double rewards, in order to unlock this one, you have to have soldier healing maxed out, which is why you're working on it and prioritizing it. Has to be maxed 100%. All right. Zone development's done. What do I do next? Do I do zone fight? Do I do advanced combat? What do I do? The answer is you get T9s. T9s of something. Whatever you decided, carrier ant or shooter ant. If you chose guardian ant, good for you. You're wrong. Shooter ant, carrier ant. One of the two. Whichever one you decide to invest in early on. So for me, carrier ant, you invest in, based off of the chart that I just showed, to get T9 carrier ants. Then you can go back later and fill it out if you want to. But you get T9 carrier ants. Sweet. After you, or shooter ants, whichever one you invest into. After that, you go to advanced combat and you max out advanced combat. Now, once you have maxed out advanced combat, or before you've maxed out advanced combat, comes a conversation. So, but actually before you max out advanced combat, really, becomes a conversation. Do you max out advanced combat, or do you get T9s in shooter ant or carrier ant or guardian ant or whatever? The amount of creature remains required once you are Queen 25, the 117,000 creature remains that are required for minimum investment to get T9 of another troop is roughly 2, maybe 2.5 weeks of creature remains at Queen 25. You could tell where I stand on this debate. I personally think that you get T9 carrier ants, you max out advanced combat, you max out T10 carriers. Now, people may bring up that my shooter branch is already maxed out or is already leveled up. That's not because I magically changed my stance a week into shooter ants. That's because back in my day, sonny, or there was no T10 branches. So, going from T9 carriers to starting to level up T9 shooters made sense. And advanced combat wasn't really something we touched. Now that T10 carriers are out, your argument is a personal choice amongst you. It's approximately 1.2 to 1.3 million creature remains to unlock one T10 branch to the max. And you have to unlock to the max. In order to unlock defensive body, right, you have to unlock level 15 of the previous evolution. In order to unlock this one, you have to have unlocked level 17 of this previous one. And in order to unlock carrier ant, you have to unlock level 20. So this branch is required to get maxed out. You're required to spend all 1.2 to 1.3 million creature remains. Again, you can tell where I stand on this situation. However, that argument is very valid. That is it worth 2.5 weeks to go back and do this? Up to you. All right. So that's all of that. That's the order that I would upgrade them in, right? So max out the troop that you're in, advanced combat, T10s. However, if you choose to go slightly different, I can understand it. Now, the last two EVOs we haven't touched on, well, 3 EVOs we haven't touched on, secondary combat, zone fight, insect. Zone fight, the only 2 nodes that I would level up is dodge attack and zone attack. There are a couple of reasons for that. Invasion attack, increases all soldier attack enemy in war zone during strongest war zone event. Great, we can't hit hives, so if you don't have this leveled up, just stay on your squirters and it doesn't matter. Kill event is basically a giant gathering day anyways. So just gather in their server and don't worry about this. Zone attack, however, requires dodge attack 1 to be maxed. Zone attack increases soldier ant attack on your side. Well, on any side, right? But more importantly, it increases your attack against the groundhog. And that's what matters. None of these other EVOs really matter. They matter like in the long run, but they don't matter long enough to detour you from T10 EVOs. The high appeals from Zone Fight are Symbol Colony, which gives you another slot in your Rally Center, and Fatal Attack. Fatal Attack, as explained previously, no longer super important, super investing, because we don't do hill versus hill very often, if at all, anymore. Assemble Colony is good if your server fights for the tree every week, it's good. If your server, like my servers, don't fight for the tree every week, let the people that spend a lot of money on the game get Assemble Colony and use their slots. Not everyone needs it. If you're one of those people that have it, good for you. I'm happy for you. As you could tell, I was working on T9 shooters and working towards getting it. But I don't believe that it's the right thing anymore. It slows down groundhog rallies. It slows down rallies to special insects and all that other stuff. There's just no value from it because most servers don't fight for War of the King. They don't fight for the tree. So this really becomes useless. Again, some situations come up. Feel free to ask in my Discord. Feel free to DM me, whatever. We could talk about if this is the right detour for you. But Zone Fight, again, is another 120,000, so another 2.5 weeks away from the T10 charge. Okay, now what about insects? Insect evos are tricky. Insect evos require fodder to level up for the most part, if not all of them. So there's a part of me that says do them only on Sunday because fodder is super expensive. Another part of me says do them only on Evo Day because it's Evo power. That's up to you. That being said, I would work on insects as you're going as much as possible, not to delay your resources getting into Queen 25, unlocking your first T9. If you have spare resources from working on those two things, unlocking these sooner rather than later is always good. You want the extra termite farm in order to get more fodder faster. Fodder becomes extremely limiting even as a pay-to-win player. Not so much for super pay-to-win players, but as like a light spender, fodder becomes limiting. Nest expansion. I keep 4 insects hatching all the time. AKA twice a day. So I hatch 8 insects a day. Huge. Important. So there's benefit to maxing it out. There's a lot of need for it. The call only really becomes Sunday or Wednesday. That's up to you. If you feel like you can't get 3 server versus server colony actions on one day, then I would do that day for this Evo. If you feel like you can get 3 colony actions for that day, save it for Evo day. Alright. Now, we've left a bunch of these evolutions half done, half baked, whatever. As you get to the point in this game where you're limited by creature remains inside of the path that I've already described, you go back and you start maxing out other things. So you go back and you start maxing out basic military. You go back, you start maxing out soldier healing. You go back, you start maxing out the other 2 branches, right? So my Guardian Ant, perfect example, maxed out to unlock boost no farther. That's everything that doesn't require creature remains. You max out all your March units. Even secondary combat has a couple, I believe up to like battle determinant, maybe level superiority. No, not level superiority. It's somewhere in here. I don't remember. I think it's these 3. Don't require creature remains. That's as far as I'd go here. The amount of creature remains required for secondary combat, insane, not worth it. Would not do it. That being said, we're trying to compile the exact amount of costs. We just realized that it was prohibitive. We would love screenshots from anyone that is doing these in order to come up with a specific spot and where we think that it would be better. But for me, secondary combat is something that I'll work on after I have T10s. The costs just got prohibitively high, even just doing this first branch. It probably put me back about a week in my T10 evolution race. So, yeah. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. With this, we're going to say our 3,500 subscriber giveaway is today as well. Thank you guys for all the love and support. We're going to go ahead and call Evolution. That's going to be our code word. I know I'm super creative. Again, it doesn't cost you guys anything. Please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. You can always undo it later. code word for 3,500 subscribers is going to be evolution. Huge shout out, you guys, as always, to my Patreon. If you guys are willing and able, the link is in the description as well. Thank you, Slim, for joining most recently. Thank you, Fox, for all the details, sharing us the cheapest and most efficient way in order to get down and get the Emperor and get Ghost. So thank you, guys. The Patreon is like a small little family. You guys rock. With that, you guys, you can catch me in the YouTube comments. I'm there as much as I can be. Or you can find me on Discord. I am very active in there. Or, worst case scenario, like I always say, catch me on server 193. Till next time, you guys, stay humble, stay happy, stay hungry. Bye, y'all.